Well, there's nothing better than knowing I've got a hot cup of coffee and it's Sweethearts and Heroes Day today here at the Aired Out Podcast. Despite the fact that at one point my truck was telling me that it was -9 driving in this morning. It is cold out there. It is going to remain cold here. As we were saying last week, here's the deal. National Weather Service saying mostly cloudy skies today. Going to be only topping out around 18. Tonight, we're cloudy and 1. Tomorrow, carbon copy of today, mostly cloudy and 18. And Friday, cloudy and 17. 14 on Saturday, 15 on Sunday. Not to say that we're not going to see any sunshine, because we've got an abundance of sunshine this morning, which is really nice, even though it's -9. We're -4, or -1, or wherever you are. Just close your eyes, gaze up at that sunshine, and just take it in. Take in as much vitamin D as you can. Fly on the Wall Productions bringing you the Aired Out Podcast. Tonight, Allison Mann and Colin McCaffrey going to be at Farmers Night, of course, under the Golden Dome at the State House, presented by the Vermont Legislature. Always open to the public, always free. Wednesday evenings at 7:30, doors open at 7 o'clock. Bring the family. Come on out to the House Chamber tonight at the Vermont State House and enjoy the great music of Allison Mann and Colin McCaffrey. A little bit of folk, a little bit of jazz. Get out of the cold, come indoors, and enjoy this. This has been going on at the State House for over 100 years. Absolutely amazing. I'm going to see if I can connect in with Deb Phillips from The World newspaper, which has been promoting Farmers Night quite heavily, as a matter of fact. And they've got the full schedule printed. I know that Bob Wagner and Friends was the kickoff on the 21st. But this is a big deal, and we invite you to come out. Farmers Night, it's in The World, goes all the way until April 8th. And I think we got Deb with us. Deb, good morning.
Good morning, JD.
How are we doing today, Deb Phillips?
We're doing good. Papers are here. We got here early. Everybody's out distributing already.
I hope they're bundled up. It's chilly.
It is chilly. Yep, it is.
What can we expect in today's world, this week's world?
This week's world. Well, with Valentine's Day just around the corner, we hope people will start planning now. We have a full page of Valentine's gift ideas this week. We also have a special section on a healthy new year, and with lots of articles and stuff about staying healthy this year. And we have the Pet Care Corner, and we have a page on the Waterbury Winterfest.
I saw that.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah,
that's coming up.
We
have the whole schedule in there.
There you go. Yeah, I saw the whole schedule. Maybe I'm thinking of the Montpelier Winterfest, that you get the whole schedule printed on the back cover of last week's paper, right?
Nope, that was nope. I think that was somebody else that had that one. That was the Bridge, I believe, that had that.
Okay, all right.
But we have a headliner talking about reminding people about it coming up, and
good stuff.
Then so we have like the Waterbury Winterfest, which starts Wednesday, January 28th. That's today.
Wow.
So, yep, and that one runs through Sunday.
Well, there's so much that's going on outdoors that, people love it. You got the bonfires, the hot cocoa, the sledding. There's horse-drawn sleigh rides. There's ice sculptures everywhere. It's just, you got to listen. If you don't embrace it, that's fine, but don't complain when you're still in the jammies sitting on the couch all winter.
Really, no, it should be a good weekend to get out and do all those fun things.
Absolutely. Good stuff, Deb. Thank you so much for everything, for presenting the Aired Out Podcast, and for doing what you and Gary and the rest of the team do so hard every week. You guys work your tails off, and we appreciate you.
Well, thank you, JD. We appreciate you too.
Don't forget vt-world.com. Thank you so much, Deb. Stay warm today.
You too.
All right. That's the online version, vt-world.com, if you want to check it out. Wednesday. Yes, a quick shout out to Jasper and Highgate, one of our new followers here on the Aired Out podcast. A very good morning to you. It is Wednesday, January 28th, Sweethearts and Heroes Day. Duane Coute is not with me in the studio, although I hope someday I'm going to get a chance to meet him and have him here in the studio. But he is the president of the North Country Chevy dealers, and he is with us right now. Why is Duane Coute with us on Sweethearts and Heroes Day? You know what, Duane? I'm going to let you answer that question.
Good morning, JD. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Doing very well, man. It is an absolute pleasure to have you here. I've heard so much about you. What's up with you guys and Sweethearts and Heroes?
Yeah, this is an initiative that our Chevy dealers group through our local marketing association, which ranges from New Hampshire, Vermont, and New York. Heard about Tom and Rick's organization, Sweethearts and Heroes, back in 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. And that's kind of when they got their start. And they had pitched us that they would like us to partner with them. I think everybody was blown away. Sometimes you really don't know what's going on out there in the educational world, but they've expanded that obviously with the electricians they're presenting to, and other facets of workers that are going through some mental health issues. But we focus on the schools, and it's been an amazing partnership, and I really appreciate what Tom, Rick, and the whole team at Sweethearts and Heroes does, as well as my dealer body.
It is really refreshing to see that there is a huge company, a bunch of big companies, but the umbrella you're driving the bus of that is embracing Sweethearts and Heroes. I mean, that is so huge. That's a big deal, man.
Yeah, we're very excited to have this relationship that's truly expanded to another realm. But it's it's collective. We make decisions collectively. Things are brought to the table. There's some things that we can't do. But this is one that's stuck for quite some time. And even dealers are doing more in their community, and they're hiring Sweethearts and Heroes, not just using the funding that comes from the Chevy group. We could put our advertising dollars towards TV ads, radio ads, which is all good, and advertise a payment on a particular vehicle. But we're using our advertising dollars both ways by getting our messaging out there as a group and as individual stores, and making a difference in schools with these students and teachers and administrators that are just going through so much right now, so much mental situations. I mean, I go to every single presentation that Tom and Rick do because I'm looking to see what that impact of our investment is doing on that particular school that I've sponsored.
And nobody is immune to hardship. No one is immune to stress. Whether you're a teacher, whether you're a student, and frankly, regardless of what grade you're in school, there is some heavy, and we've talked about it. We talk about this all the time. Tom and I've had big conversations about this. There's some really heavy stuff that pretty much, fair to say, almost everybody, if not literally everyone, that is walking through the doors of their school every single morning, there's a lot of weight that everyone's carrying right now. And it's all different. It's all different kind of weight, but it's weight nonetheless, man.
Yeah, it is. I think the prime example of an impact that Tom and Rick and Sweethearts and Heroes are trying to do is when you hear in the news that somebody committed suicide, and and then they go and they interview all the people around them, and those people say, wow, he was so happy-go-lucky, we didn't know he was having problems. Tom and Rick are at the forefront of trying to get these teachers and students the help, the guidance, a ray of light in their life, to say that you do mean something. You are worth something. You are worth something right now by being here at this presentation, and equipping the teachers with some of the tools that they need. Obviously, if you go a little further in their education, then you're going to get more tools to be able to handle things. Like we were talking before, teachers aren't equipped to handle mental issues or a home life situation. They're there to teach math, science, social studies. They have the toughest job in the world. And it's the most unappreciated job in the world. And as I said to you before, I mean, myself, my team at Littleton Chevrolet just praises teachers and what they do on a daily basis, and taking care of these kids, dealing with abuse, not only from the student maybe being abused, but the teachers getting abused.
Yeah.
By what people say or what they do or actions on social media or posts.
Yeah.
They don't deserve that. They're just trying to do their job and live their life as best they can.
Yeah. And they're human beings, and they've got enough of their own problems happening at their own house, in their own private lives. I know, man. I know. And we could peel back layers on this all day long. And I know that you have with Tom and Rick. Tell me about, and well said, by the way, you just nailed it. Tell me about your neck of the woods, Danville. The guys from Sweethearts and Heroes have been up there and had a huge impact. You were telling me that afterwards the teachers wanted to chat with Tom for 15 minutes. Listen, Duane, you and I both know nobody talks to Tom for 15 minutes.
Our conversations on the phone sometimes last 2 hours, and I'm thinking like, hey, I want to run this by you. Hey, I gotta.
Same
hey,
here.
How you doing, man?
I know.
And then like you and I said, he's always suggesting some sort of book, and I do love books, and I'm like, Tom,
sure,
I got to finish this other book first before I can go into this one.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we should all go down to Costa Rica for 3 or 4 months and sit on the beach and read books all day.
Yeah, I know. I love in the presentations when he says, the great Socrates says, he goes into that whole thing, and it's impactful. But his knowledge is off the charts, and I think that's what makes his presentations, some of the greatest. Like a TED Talk type thing.
Yeah.
So Danville was an area that it's part of our DMA, our Chevrolet district area, so we can kind of do whatever we want. And it was nice that they were so inviting, and they really, really wanted us there. We hadn't been there. They have a major situation with a lot of students on the bullying side, and they're trying to get their hands around it. But they gave the presentation. They went into circles with some of the younger kids. I think it was the 5th or 6th graders, and then they did something with the senior high kids. And then afterwards, Tom had wanted to meet with the teachers for just 15 minutes, just to kind of get them in. I think there was maybe 15 or 18 teachers there, and it lasted over an hour, and it could have gone on for 2 hours. They just kept asking questions, and like, how do you handle this situation? And you're walking away from that. And when he was telling me the story, he didn't have to say it. I could feel it. The emotional impact that was had in that room was something that those teachers just needed to get out, rather it was, shaking or crying or just being able to talk to somebody. And Tom was able to do that. And I'm so proud of the fact that we went to Danville. I'm so proud of the fact that the feedback was incredible. from the people that I dealt with, and also just watching the students' eyeballs and mannerisms as they're watching Tom, and then Rick comes out and does his thing. And when you see Rick, you're shocked, but he plays it off. He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. This has happened to me, but again, he's one of the greatest influencers of our time right now.
Yeah. And for folks that may not be familiar with Rick, Rick suffered a horrific roadside bomb while he was serving in Iraq and was covered in diesel fuel and burned alive. And today he is very much alive. He says even more alive than he's ever been. And presents in front of every single age and every single demographic on the planet and impacts them tremendously. It is unbelievable to hear this guy speak. It is literally almost, Duane, impossible to have a really shitty day after you've had some time with Rick. Perspective. Perspective is everything, man.
His humor is super dry, but it is super funny. With Rick's story, how many times do you hear about a veteran that's homeless, or a veteran that's lost his family, or a veteran that is on drugs or an alcoholic? Rick could have gone down that path, but
definitely
found a glimmer of hope from just talking to a child and having that child say, that just looking into her eyes and what she said at the time. And he's like, there is somebody out there that does care about me. And that was the catapult for everything that we see today for what he's doing. A true American hero right there.
Yep, absolutely.
Doing great things for people.
Through the bone, no doubt about it. We're talking about Danville and the impacts that Sweethearts and Heroes is making up there, of course, with the support of North Country Chevy dealers. But what about Linden? The guys were just up at Linden Institute not too long ago. That's you guys.
Yeah, that's another school that we did last year. Again, another great presentation. And as I always hear for feedback from the teachers, when there's an assembly, kids tend to fidget, move around, don't pay attention. Well, I can tell you they pay attention, and they are hanging on every word that Tom and Rick talk about. Doesn't matter. They keep it entertaining. They keep it real. And the administrators are just so impressed of how mature the students are while they're presenting, because they are intently listening to what is coming out of their mouths. And that Lindenville one was a pretty hard hit for me, because Tom would talk to a lot of the people, and the hugs and everything, and the Instagram and the photos, and it's all engaging. It's such a great ending, and it gives those students an opportunity for them to be like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? I don't know I don't know how to handle this situation, right? Well, there was one student that was dealing with a lot, and I'm not sure that the student has ever told anybody of what she's dealing with, but she didn't have much. She lives with her dad, I guess, and her dad doesn't acknowledge her at all, and she's, I don't know how old she was, but I mean, that's such a sad story, and she has nobody to talk to. Tom gave her some hope, gave her some guidance, spoke to the teachers about it, that, hey, this is a serious situation. I don't think if we did not have Sweethearts and Heroes there, if this young student would have a chance in life. And I'm hoping that the school got behind it, and there was some follow-up, and but that's the stuff, and that made me cry.
Yeah. And if if Tom were with us right now, he would say that that is one of many, many, many examples.
Hundreds of stories. They're doing the electrical contractors, the unions, they're
Yeah.
going around
Yeah.
the country. And I didn't realize this, but and Tom will probably correct me, but he said there's I think it's 16 suicides a day in the United States through the union of electrical contractors.
Yeah. Linemen. Yeah.
Linemen, thank you. Yeah, that's a huge number. And what's the reason why? Well, I could guess that you're on the road all the time. You're traveling, you're not with your family. You can get down, you can get into some stuff that's not good for you.
Sure.
And I love that they're going in a different direction and making an impact with those people. And then from the union there's other people reaching out, and other unions, other businesses, because mental health is a terrible and a deep situation in this country. Suicide is a major thing. Bullying there's not getting a handle on it at this point, but Sweethearts and Heroes is doing what they can, and we're trying to assist.
You and I are probably right around the same age, and I know that at least I'm guessing that you didn't grow up with a cell phone, that you weren't spending your summers tethered to an electronic device.
The answer is no.
Yeah.
And when it was the weekend, and as a young child, and we were home, and my mom would say, "Get your stuff on and get the hell outside."
Same here.
That was it. Then my brother and I would throw sticks and stones at each other,
Climb trees,
battling it out, behind the rock and the tree.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. We were. It's different, man. We were raking leaves. We were shoveling the neighbors' snow out of their yard. We were climbing trees. We were riding bikes, making jumps, getting hurt.
Right.
And today, we see, and you were just telling me you're always seeing kids just head down, tethered to that phone.
Yeah, it's something that there has to be some sort of limit or control, and it starts with the parents, and when, it's hard. It is hard, because I do see this when a parent has an iPad for their 3-year-old and it's keeping them occupied. That's all well and good, but it has to be in moderation, and you have to teach them moderation. And if you don't, then you get into situations like we are now, where if you could grab any kid's phone and say, look at how many hours they were on their phone. I mean, guess 12 to 16. And that seems like a large number, but it's probably right in the realm, maybe 8, but still 8 is too much. Ask a kid if you want to go play checkers or chess.
What's that?
Yeah, I have no idea. Let's go play Chutes and Ladders while we're at it.
What's that? I know, man. I hear you. And Tom has a lot to say about who to point the finger at with all of this. But
it's not getting JD. It's not getting any better.
No,
this country, the companies, they're always looking for the next best thing. AI, robotics, the best phone. iPhone 14 or whatever we're at now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy.
There's a lot of great things that could be said. I mean, my God. I mean, look at Google and Roblox and and Meta right now. Mark Zuckerberg's pushing back. We got TikTok, who's writing the check here, and we're going to be talking about this more Friday morning here on Aired Out. But man, which kind of brings me back to summertime. Once school's out, Sweethearts and Heroes doesn't stop, and neither do the North Country Chevy dealers. You guys are backing them up, saying, "Hey, continue this mission through the summer."
Yeah, we're always planning, looking for the next thing that we can assist with. And as I mentioned, we sponsored a teacher outing central locations in New Hampshire, Vermont, and New York, and invited all of these schools within the diameter of where the dealership was, and encouraged them to go for a couple of days just to get some training. And it was well received. Um, the attendance was wonderful at all three of the presentations. Obviously, it's more garnered towards teachers and handling situations. And it's just another facet of what Sweethearts and Heroes is doing, and allowing us to be part of it, and hopefully making that impact with those teachers so they can go back with their tool belt more equipped.
As the president of the North Country Chevy dealers, what impacts has Sweethearts and Heroes had on you personally, Duane, where you think you have brought in some of those impacts to your managers, your staff, maybe without walking around with a sign that says, I've learned this from Sweethearts and Heroes, and I want you guys to start thinking this way. But maybe something that you haven't admitted yet to any of your staff, but it's something that is at the forefront of your mind because of Sweethearts and Heroes.
Yeah. And just caveat, in March, Tom's coming to the store as part of our thing that we're doing with the Lisbon school. But I always share what I'm doing and where I'm going with my staff. I'm always putting it out there on social media, the impact that we're having, and then my staff will ask me questions about what's this all about, and we talk about it. Some don't really, they're in their own little world, and that's fine. Others are interested. Like I said before, you're here on this planet for a short period of time. And what are you going to do in between the day you're born and the day you pass? And that impact is so important, whether it's, a $5 donation, or, a $25,000 donation, $100,000 donation, or your time, or thinking outside the box. And I think every time I talk to Tom and Rick and go to a presentation, it makes me think more of what else can I do to help. I think that's kind of the answer. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, and build upon your legacy, which is all you've got at the end of the day.
That legacy I think about often. What are people going to say about you when you pass?
Were you an awesome president of the North Country Chevy dealers, or first and foremost, were you a great dad, a great human being? Above that,
I think
way above that.
Me being president is just I'm the bus driver, and working with a team, a marketing group out of New York, Trainer and Associates, which give them a shout out. They work tirelessly on what we're doing, and they're always there for us. But it's I think it's just being a great human being, period, and being there for people. Like people always say to me, "How do you know so much about?" Well, I read, I watch, I listen. I get into my employees' lives. I want to know what's going on with them. I want to try to help them if they're in trouble in any way, or if their family's in trouble. And I think, that's, Tom could be doing anything. He could be still doing MMA if he wanted to, maybe. But he could be doing anything. And he sacrifices, and Rick sacrifices, to travel all over the place to just make their impact and make an unbelievable legacy for themselves.
Yeah. You say you're watching. You're not watching a whole hell of a lot of TV, though.
No, only sports.
Sports guy. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? I mean, is it a no-brainer? Do I even need to bother asking that question?
you gotta go New England, baby.
What?
New England.
Duane.
There's so many similarities to the last time Seattle and the Pats played. Too many similarities, but and playoff sports is great.
Yeah.
Day-to-day sports, Red Sox, sure.
Yeah.
Football, obviously on Sundays because it's winter and there's not much else to do, and it's a gathering. It's a good gathering and getting people together.
But you're not watching a whole hell of a lot of.
I'm not a Housewives guy, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah. Or just the news.
I'll get the news from reading. I'll watch a little nightly news, not much. I would rather, read. When I get some time, I'm getting better at it. I'm motivated to read, a minimum of 25 books this year, but also I'm listening to audiobooks and, there's a lot of suggestions of books that come out there, not only from Tom, but just from others that are interesting. I just finished the book, 1929. And it was about the stock market crash in 1929 and how that was manipulated by many high-ranking and wealthy individuals, and it ruined a lot of people's lives. It's a great book. I recommend it. If anybody gets out there, my recommendations today.
I know that that Tom's recommending a few books too, but you're also a bit of a writer.
Well, I mean, I as I mentioned, I just finished last year. My son and I finished our first documentary ever. Didn't really know where we were going with it or what we were going to do. It's called One World, One Jam, and it's the history of 25 years of the Jerry Jam Music Festival. So we launched that in October. Still have the production company, but I've decided that I'm going to write a book. I've already started my interviews in July. It's kind of just a side hobby thing. It's going to take me 2 or 4 years to write it, but there's something intriguing about the history of Franconia College in Franconia, New Hampshire. It was a college that was up and running for 15 years, and the stories are off the charts. And I think doing a documentary doesn't do their history justice. So I've already started it.
Wow.
I got to get it going. But as far as writing, I love writing. It kind of takes me away from everyday life and really gets me thinking deep. I'm not saying, yes, I'd like to have a couple columns published here and there, but it's mostly about my, writing is about some poetry, some songwriting, and maybe a article or two.
Wow.
It's something else to do.
Wow.
Keeps you busy. I'll share a couple with you later today.
Please do.
I'll send you the one on the Baseball Hall of Fame. See what you think.
Yeah, and I would love that, and I'd love the One World, One Jam doc too.
I'll send you the link to that.
That'd be amazing.
Still available.
Wow.
Yep.
So what are you hoping to do next with Sweethearts and Heroes? What's the plan for the North Country Chevy dealers?
Well, I know that we have still a fair amount of presentations scheduled throughout this year. After that, I can't really discuss a lot of it, but there's been some changes in how Chevrolet conducts, how they tell us how we need to conduct our business. So that's something I'm dealing with a couple other dealers in New York who are the presidents of their association. And I don't know at this point. We want to keep the relationship going. I love what we're doing for the communities and for the schools and teachers. As I said, I think we've had an impact as a group, and it's an unusual impact because other associations aren't doing some of the things that we're doing. We're thinking outside the box often. And where can we really, really invest our money and our dollars into our communities better,
Yeah. These guys are so busy, and as I'm sure you've had conversations with Tom where he's just like all systems go 24/7, trying to make an impact and trying to save an individual or reroute them onto a better path, a more productive path, or a different way of thinking about something. Even from, I mean, from a lineman all the way down to a third grader.
Yeah.
These guys they're busting their tails, man. They're over in White River today. I think yesterday and today. They're in White River, and then they're going to be presenting at South Burlington High School, I think on Thursday this week. It's a brutal schedule, man, and there's a huge team behind the scenes that are helping to conduct all of this, and it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
Yeah.
The fact that you guys are engaged with Sweethearts and Heroes says so much about the Chevy dealers, and I hope that that going up another 100,000 feet above you, I hope that Chevy as a whole is privy to this.
Yeah, we share some stuff. Some stuff gets a little bit more momentum when maybe a press release goes out, and maybe WCAX TV picks it up, or Fox, and then we share some of the clips with the people above me in Chevrolet, and then that get sent to Detroit, and maybe down the road I'll get a card, from one of them. It's very positive, which is nice to see that we are doing things differently, and we're still carrying the torch of Chevrolet and still selling Chevrolets, at a good clip.
Yeah. And your boys and girls are coming to work every day with stupid temperatures and dusting off those cars and busting their butts, man, over there.
Yeah. So, COVID was a weird time, but, I had to look back, going through the years. We have not had this much snow in the White Mountains. I'd say for 6 or 7 years. It's been really, really light. I had to go back and count recently because this was the biggest storm that I've seen in 6 or 7 years. And it looks like we got anywhere from 12 to 15 inches in the 2 days between Sunday and Tuesday. But it takes its toll mentally on everybody, when it's cold. I'm up early at 2:30. I got another guy, he's running the loader, I'm running the plow truck. We got 3 properties that we got to manage. And then when everybody comes in, the lot's ready to go. It's standed, and then they can do their plowing and brush off the cars, especially with these temperatures when it's 5 below, 10 above. Fortunately, we have a manageable amount of vehicles in stock. But I remember back in the day, we had the winter of that almost killed us because we got like 18 or 20 inches, and the snow drifts were probably another, 20 to 30 inches higher on the cars. And we had 300 units in the lot, and you had nowhere to put snow, and everybody was mad. That was a 2-day project, 2 days. So you figure the storm comes in, everybody's hunkering down, milk, bread, and cheese. And then the day, storm's coming in, day of the storm, let it go. Next day, cleaning. Next day, you're cleaning. So you're 4 or 5 days out before you're actually doing business.
Yeah.
People get frustrated, but it's been part of the car business, living in cold climate areas forever.
Yeah.
So it's not just, I'm not complaining. I love the winter, but it's, you don't complain because there's people, that preceded you that are doing the same things that you're doing now that they did 30 years ago,
right.
50 years ago. They had to get a shovel out because they didn't have plow trucks.
Exactly. Which I can't even imagine. Your relationship with your community and frankly, your communities outside of your immediate community is imperative to success. Your relationship, your integrity, your reputation. These are all big, big things. But when you guys take it beyond the automobile industry and take it into schools, and take it to the faces and the eyes and the ears of students and teachers, that's next level, Duane. That's something that you don't see a lot of automobile businesses tripping over themselves doing.
Yeah, like I said before, I love going to these presentations that we're sponsoring, because I want to see firsthand what impact and what investment we're putting into this on the mannerisms, on their students' faces, on the teachers with the, oh wow, I didn't know that, Tom has a slide in one of his presentations. I don't remember the girl's name, but she live streamed her suicide. And then he has not only her, but I think 8 or 12 other students of all ages that committed suicide as well. I mean, you look around the room and the kids' faces are just like, oh my God, makes them think. And if they are having problems, hopefully something's pulled out of them that they can have a conversation with somebody at some point in what they're dealing with.
Yeah. It's, it all comes down to hope, man. And Rick talks about this. If you've completely lost it, every ounce of it, it's not easy to get back. And if you can have people hand it to you on a silver platter all day, but unless you find it within yourself, that might prevent you from reaching out and saying, hey, I need somebody to just to just hear me, or maybe not even speak, but just be together with me, because man, it's hitting the fan right now in my life, and I need somebody to stand beside me.
Yeah, when Rick speaks and somebody's dealing with no hope or lack of hope or little hope, they have to check themselves and say, wow,
Yeah.
I'm not like that guy.
Yep.
I guess I can come out of this. And hopefully it gets them thinking to be like, all right, I got to change my ways. I got to change my path. I got to change my life.
The fact that you guys recognize how important this is, all of the North Country Chevy dealers, the fact that you guys know this and that this is a priority to you, and you go to these presentations, not just at Linden Institute and Danville, but to others, is really massive, man. It's huge. And Tom and I have had conversations about this. He's been telling me for a long time, dude, you got to get Duane on.
Sounded just like him.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, you guys just, first of all, just a big thank you, I think, is in order to all of the North Country Chevy dealers for locking it up with Sweethearts and Heroes and saying, we're going to make sure that they get into as many schools as possible and have as big of an impact as possible. And sometimes, Duane, you may not see the results. You may not see the impact. But quietly, behind the curtain, you may have saved a lot of kids, not only from some hardship or depression, but also some behind the scenes bullying that fixed itself because of Sweethearts and Heroes and the fact that you guys are backing them up.
Yeah, that's one thing we didn't talk about was the bullying portion.
Yeah.
That's literally the silent person in the room. When when somebody's not talking about their situation and they're just getting cyber bullied all day long, I don't know what that feels like or means. I can only look at it from a 30,000-foot view, but when the bullying portion comes up in the presentation, my hope is that the bullier, kind of steps up and says, I shouldn't be doing this anymore.
Yeah.
This is not me. This is going to ruin my life. This is going to ruin somebody else's life.
And I've said this to Tom, I've said this to all the guys, is that, when I was in middle school and high school, I was goofing around a lot. I think getting a clear definition of what bullying is really important, because a lot of us are just teasing, we're just goofing around, we're immature, we're having fun, blah blah blah. We may not realize that what we're doing is really truly unwelcomed and hurtful, and maybe might even be something that the recipient carries or remembers as the last thing before they go to bed at night.
Yeah.
We often don't realize this, and that's one thing about Tom and these guys is, and Pat and Josiah and Brian, all of them, they put this into a really clear perspective of what that is. Words are powerful, man.
Yeah, as you're speaking, I'm thinking, and I have to say, one of the greatest compliments I'd ever received in my entire life, and there's been many, but this ranks right up there. Guy I went to high school with, lives locally, kind of an introvert, but very talented in audio, in music, that sector. We were doing our documentary, and as we're setting things up, we don't have a connection other than high school. You see him around town, you wave, hey, what's up, man? He goes, I've been meaning to tell you and your brother for a long time. Back in high school, you stood up for me when I was being bullied by many, and I truly appreciate that, and I've always wanted to tell you that, so thank you. I'm like, what? I speechless, as you can see. Speechless. And I didn't even know at that time, everybody's, it's called, joshing around, I mean,
Yeah.
That's what we did. You fooled around with people, you picked on people, I guess. But I guess didn't realize the extent of how he was being bullied. And I honestly, I don't even remember what my brother and I did at the time for us to make an impact on him. And obviously it had an impact because it stopped. And he'd been holding that in so I'm 56, he's my brother's age, so he's 54, so 40 plus years. And he just decided, because of the documentary, he wanted to let me know, he wanted to thank me and make sure my brother knew. Wow. Crazy. And again, that's you don't know, like you just said, you don't know the impact that you're making on somebody's life by just a small gesture, or a conversation, or a hug, or, hey, how are you, man? It can go a long way to open up a deeper conversation with people.
Here's the thing about this guy is if he lives until he's 90, he's still going to remember this.
Yeah.
Obviously, if he's carried this in the back of his mind this long, I mean, think about that. For around 40 years, he's always known that Duane Coute had his back one day.
Yeah.
Even
I didn't even know it.
Even though that Duane Coute didn't know it. That really says a lot, man. It says a lot. I wish more kids could hear that story.
You get up in the morning, and I'll call it, sometimes there's Groundhog's Day. Do the same thing over and over again every day for many days and many weeks, and you just get in a routine. I've always been of the mindset and learned a long time ago, what impact are you going to make today, rather large or small, in somebody's life, a decision that is being made. And I would encourage more people, just as you're getting up, laying in bed, you get up, you make your coffee, and you just keep saying, what impact are you going to make today?
Yeah.
Because it can go a long way. And you don't have to, you don't have to get CBS News to get out there. One thing that bothers me is a lot of the influencers, right? They're not bad people. I'm not saying that. It's just they want to be in front of the camera. They want to give $10,000 away. They want to make that. Are they making an impact in somebody's life, or is it just for clicks and likes and money? I don't know, but I don't think people should live their life like that. You should go about making a silent impact on someone or something every single day. And if you do that, we go back to, there's your legacy.
Yeah. So true. Man, I got to tell you, I am so humbled to have had this time with you this morning. I can only imagine how busy you are, how many cars need to be dusted off. I'm sure you got a lot of stuff happening, but the fact that you carved out some time this morning, and maybe it was threats from Tom that intimidated you. I don't know.
It's been bugging me for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I've wanted to get on here. I just had to make the time for it. And yes, end of year, beginning of the year, it's winter. It's busy. There's a lot of moving parts right now. But again, this is my portion of impact today.
That's right.
I feel blessed. I truly appreciate what you do. I appreciate your time. Appreciate this conversation, and I'll send you that stuff a little later today.
Yeah, man. I hope to get up there and shake your hand one of these days, Duane. And on behalf of Sweethearts and Heroes and all of our followers and listeners, thank you for partnering up with Sweethearts and Heroes up at the North Country Chevy dealers. All of you up there. I think the impacts are going really, really deep in our community, man.
It is. And, we are very proud of what we do. And if you want to check us out, you can go to northcountrychevydealers.com. All of the dealers there are highlighted. You can find one near you, support them, and they support, and in return, they're going to support, what the community does. It does, and we talk about Sweethearts and Heroes. Let's talk about the Boys and Girls Club. Let's talk about the golf tournaments. Let's talk about the food shelf or the spaghetti dinner, or, the GoFundMe for somebody that just got hurt. We're all doing it, and we're all making a huge impact in our communities, and we love what we do.
Yeah. Well said, man. I'm going to meet you soon, Duane. It's going to happen.
Same here. Same here. Thanks for having me on, JD.
All right, brother.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Wow. What a guy. What a story. This is the kind of stuff that matters. It really does. Conversations like this, we've got to engage more with our kids. We need to relate more, I think, with our teachers and others. And we need to just connect, man. Connect. More than anything. More than anything. In any way that you can. Use whatever you have. Whether it's your voice, whether it's your social media. Just find people and connect with them in every way and any way that you can. Hey, don't forget, Friday, it ends, the big sale at Optical Expressions on sunglasses. 25% off, all in store, in stock. Prescription and non-prescription sunglasses are 25% off, but only until Friday while supplies last. 24/7, find them at oeberlin.com. Stop in Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, fourth floor of the Blanchard Block right here in the Granite City. Great people. Fantastic. And maybe even book an eye exam if you need one. And you know what? You probably do. $5 Wednesdays back at the Paramount Theater. Skip the line, grab your tickets, fgbtheaters.com. Get out, take the family, take your husband, your wife, your partner, go out, see a movie, get indoors, get out of the cold. $5 for movies, all listings, all showtimes. at the Paramount Twin right here in Barrie. Again, mostly cloudy and about 18 degrees today. It is chilly for sure. Wing a Ding Wednesday over at the VFW. I believe that is on for tonight. Okay, so get over there. I think at 5 o'clock is when they get the wings going at the VFW right down the road here. It's going to be a fantastic rest of the day. I just feel it. I know it. I hope it is for you as well. As a matter of fact, I hope the rest of the week is. Be positive. Find some good in your community, in your life, and share it. Put it out there. There's plenty of bad stuff, plenty of bad news everywhere. We all know that. Find some good stuff. Put it out there for everybody to see and hear. All right? God bless you. We'll catch you again real soon tomorrow morning. We're going to have some fun. Yes, we are. Rex is going to be in. We're going to chat about all kinds of stuff. We're going to stir it up a little bit. And on Friday, G's going to be coming. We're going to be talking about addiction to social media, among many other things, on Friday morning. And we're always going to share a laugh as we get you closer and closer to the weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you. Try to stay warm. Be good to one another. Take care of your neighbor. We'll see you soon.